Hello, little learners. Welcome back to Camp Read A Lot, the place where we sing songs, read books, and keep the learning going all summer long. My name is Miss Lara. Can you tell me your name? Yay, I'm so happy you're here this morning. Are you ready to start our day off with a song? Come on, Miss Maria, the male person. Let's sing. Ready? Good morning, good morning. It's a sunshine kind of day. Come join Miss Lara for some learning and some play. Will we sing a song? Of course we will. Make our brains strong, like super strong. So come along. Yes, come on, friends, for some learning and some play. Now, hello, Jello. What's up, Buttercup? We have so much to do. I'm glad that you are up. That's right. Wipe the sleep from your eyes. We have so much to do. Let me explain what our plan is. So we have a whole new book this week. Do you remember what it is? Hint, hint. Look at what I'm wearing. That's right. It's a bad case of stripes. We watched the video story yesterday, and today we're going to read the book. After that, we're going to practice some of our skills. I think I saw a few sneaky letters trying to replace some beginning sounds. Oh no, we'll see what that's about. And then we'll finish off our project from yesterday. We're going to make ourselves into one of the characters in the story, just like we're reading. All right, let's see. I think I hear, do you guys hear? Ooh, it's the doorbell. Miss Maria always leaves some really good mail. Now we're going to read our letter together. Now, do you remember where we start reading? That's right. We start on the left. So this is the left and this is the right. Let's sing our song. This is the left. This is the right. When we read, we start at the left and slide to the right. Let's see what our letter says today. Dear Miss Lara, I did it. Ooh, I wonder what they did. I ate the lima beans, my favorite. I found my true self, and now I am not worried about impressing people. Are you proud of your true self? Oh, I think I am. How about you? Do you remember the character in our story was ashamed to eat lima beans because she thought everyone wouldn't like her? Looks like she did eat the lima beans after all. I wonder what Miss Maria left here in my box that will help us remember the story. Ooh, she left a few vocabulary words and the story itself. Look, yay, we get to read it together. So here are the vocabulary words that are going to help us understand the story. The first one is impress. Now, we talked a little bit about that yesterday, but when you want to impress someone, you want to make a strong impact on them. You want them to think that you are the coolest. The next one is distraction. Can you say that with me? Distraction. That's right. Let's see. It's something that makes it hard to pay attention. And the last one is remedy. Remedy, or medicine or treatment that cures or relieves, something that corrects a problem. Now, these vocabulary words are going to help us understand the story, but before we read, I think our friend Sonia the snail has a similar problem about finding your true self and being proud of who you are. I wonder what Sonia is up to today. Let's watch.
Exploring Feelings with Sonia the Snail. Sonia loved playing on the playground. One day, Fiddles the fox told Sonia, "Hey Sonia, you're the only one with a shell in the whole school." He began making fun of her. "Sonia has a shell, Sonia has a shell." Sonia felt a new feeling. For the first time, she was ashamed of who she was. She was embarrassed because having a shell made her different. Sonia's aunt noticed that something was wrong. She said, Sonia, are you sad? You know you can talk to me. Sonia told her aunt about Fiddles the fox and her shell and feeling ashamed of who she was. Sonia's aunt said, we are all different. Some of us have shells, some of us have tails. Some of us are green and some of us have lots of different colors. Everyone is special in their own way, and we should always be proud of who we are. You're right, thought Sonia, and she made a plan. The next day, when Fiddles the fox came up to her, Sonia stood really tall, and with a strong voice she said, Fiddles, I like my shell. It makes me special. Do you have a problem with that? I was just teasing Sonia, said Fiddles. Sonia didn't know what to say next, so she told Fiddles the truth. Your teasing hurt my feelings. I am sorry. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. What can I do to make it better? Said Fiddles. Sonia thought for a little while. Maybe I can show you how hard I can hit a ball with my shell. Okay, said Fiddles. Race you to the soccer field. Uh-oh. Sonia!
Ooh, it looks like Sonia the snail is not worried about impressing anyone anymore. But I'll tell you, that soccer ball almost hit me in the head. What a distraction! Okay, are you ready to read our book, A Bad Case of Stripes? Now I have to tell you, boys and girls, this one is the longer one. So settle down, snuggle in, maybe get a snack as we read this book together. So look, this book is by David Shannon. He's the author. And do you remember what the author does? That's right, he writes the words. Now let's look at the front cover. There's a little girl covered in stripes. She has something sticking out of her mouth. Have you ever had something like that sticking out of your mouth? It's called a thermometer. You might have seen one or used one that they kind of scan over your head. That's a really modern version. So let's read about Camilla Cream. Camilla Cream loved lima beans, but she never ate them. All of her friends hated lima beans, and she wanted to fit in. Camilla was always worried about what other people thought of her. Today she was fretting even more than usual. It was the first day of school, and she couldn't decide what to wear. There were so many people to impress. She tried on 42 outfits. Wow, that's a lot of outfits. Can you count to 42? Oof. But none of them seemed quite right. She put on a pretty red dress and looked in the mirror, and then she screamed, "Ah!" Her mother ran into the room, and she screamed too, "Ah! Oh my heavens," she cried. "You're completely covered with stripes." This was certainly true. Camilla was striped from head to her toe. She looked like a rainbow. Miss Cream felt Camilla's forehead. "Do you feel all right?" "I feel fine," Camilla answered, "but just look at me." "You get back in bed this instant," Camilla's mother said. "You're not going to school today." Camilla was relieved. She didn't want to miss the first day of school, but she was afraid what the other kids would say. She had no idea what to wear with those crazy stripes anyway. The next afternoon, Dr. Bumble came to examine Camilla. "Most extraordinary," he exclaimed. "I've never seen anything like it. Are you having any coughing, sneezing, runny nose, aches, pains, chills, hot flashes, dizziness, drowsiness, shortness of breath, or uncontrollable twitching?" Ooh, that sounds like a commercial on TV. "No," Camilla told him. "I feel fine." "Well then," Dr. Bumble said, turning to Miss Cream, "I don't see any reason why you shouldn't go back to school tomorrow. Here's some ointment that should help clear up those stripes in a few days, and if it doesn't, you know where to reach me." And off he went. Look at, there he is examining her tongue. I wonder if her tongue has stripes too. Now, do you think that Camilla is going to get better with the ointment, which is like a cream that she can put on herself? I don't know. The next day was a disaster. Everyone at school laughed at Camilla. They called her Camilla Cream, a Night of the Living Lollipop. She tried her best to act as if everything were normal, but when the class said the Pledge of Allegiance, her stripes turned red, white, and blue, and she broke out in stars. Oh no, there she is. The other kids thought this was a great idea. One yelled out, "Let's see some purple polka dots." Sure enough, Camilla turned all purple polka dotty. Someone else shouted, "Checkerboard!" and a pattern of squares covered her skin. Soon everyone was calling out different shapes and colors, and poor Camilla was changing faster than you can change channels on a TV. Now I want you to stop and think. How do you think Camilla is feeling? She has no control over what her skin looks like right now. That night, Mr. Harms, the school principal, called. "I'm sorry, Mrs. Cream," he said. "I'm going to have to ask you to keep Camilla home from school. She's just too much of a distraction." "They're afraid that those stripes may be contagious," he said about the other parents. Camilla was embarrassed. She couldn't believe that 2 days ago everyone liked her. Now nobody wanted to be in the same room with her. Her father tried to make her feel better. "Is there anything I can get you, sweetheart?" he asked. "No, thank you," said Camilla. What she really wanted was a nice plate of lima beans, but she had been laughed at enough for one day. So do you remember at the beginning of this story, she said she loved lima beans, but she was scared to eat them because she didn't want other people to make fun of her. I wonder if that's what's causing her stripes. Well, I see," said Dr. Bumble as he mumbled with Mr. Cream. "I think I'd better bring in the specialist. We'll be right over." About an hour later, Dr. Bumble arrived with 4 people in long white coats. He introduced them. "This is Dr. Group, Dr. Sponge, Dr. Cricket, and Dr. Young." And the specialists went to work on Camilla. They squeezed, they jabbed, they tapped, and tested. It was very uncomfortable. "It's not the mumps or the measles, not chicken pox or sunburn. Try these," said the specialist, and they handed her a bottle filled with different colored pills. "Take one of each before bed." Then they left. And what do you know? Something happened to Camilla the very next day. Oh, I'm scared to show you. Can't laugh like the kids did, okay? Look, she's a giant pill. She woke up, looked in the mirror, and that's what she looked like. Oh no. Dr. Bumble rushed over as soon as Mrs. Cream called, but this time instead of specialists, he brought experts because they're the ones that are needed to solve the problem. Dr. Gordon and Mr. Millen were the finest scientific minds in the land. Once again, Camilla was poked, prodded, jabbed. Finally, they said, "It's a virus." And suddenly, Camilla had fuzzy balls all over her, or a bacteria. And then out popped squiggly little bacteria tails. "No, no, Camilla, what's happening?" The experts looked at Camilla, then each other. "We need to go over those numbers again back at the lab. We'll call you when we know something." But the experts didn't have a clue, and they didn't have a cure. Of course, by now, all the news stations knew about it, and they came over because they wanted to know the story of the incredible changing kid. Look at all those news reporters outside wanting to know the story. Poor Camilla. She was a virus, a bacteria. She had feathers now. The only thing that was left of her was her pink bow on her head. What's going to happen? Oh, I'm almost scared to read on. One day, I'm going to keep it like this so you can see. an environmental therapist claimed that she could cure Camilla. She said, close your eyes, breathe deeply, and become one with the room. And of course, Camilla turned into her bedroom. Oh no, look, there's her lips, the bed, the eyes and portrait. Will she ever be herself again? One day, there was a tiny knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. And an old woman who was just as plump and sweet as a strawberry appeared. She said, excuse me, but I think I can help. She went into Camilla's room and looked around. My goodness, she said, what we have here is a bad case of stripes. One of the worst I've ever seen. She took a bag of lima beans out from her bag. Are those magic beans? Camilla said. Oh no, replied the kind old woman. They're just plain lima beans. I bet you'd like some, wouldn't you? She asked Camilla. Camilla wanted a big heaping plateful of lima beans more than just about anything, but she was still afraid to admit it. Yuck, she said. No one asked for lima beans, especially me. Oh dear, the old woman said sadly. I guess I was wrong about you. But just as the old woman was about to walk away, wait, Camilla said. The truth is, I really love lima beans. I thought so, said the old woman, and she took a handful of beans and popped them in Camilla's mouth. Suddenly, all the branches and feathers and squiggly tails began to disappear, and the whole world swirled all around. When it stopped, Camilla was back to normal, cheering, yay! The old lady said as she left, I knew the real you was in there somewhere, and she patted Camilla on the head. Then she went outside and vanished into the crowd. Afterward, Camilla wasn't quite the same. Some of the kids at school said she was weird, but she didn't care. She ate all the lima beans she wanted, and she never even had a touch of stripes again. Whew, good for Camilla. That was a longer book, boys and girls. I'm so glad, though, that we got to read it together. Now, you know that I love reading books to you, but I especially love it when you get to read books to me. So we're going to practice our beginning sounds so that you can read books to me one day. All right, let's look. Beginning sounds, as you remember, are the first sounds that you hear in a word. Now, today we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to play a fun game, the beginning sound game. I have 4 words here: flag, beans, star, and stripes. And we're going to change out the beginning sound with a sneaky letter behind here. So this is flag. The beginning sound is actually 2 sounds put together. Flag, full. So we're going to take that one out. Ooh, flag. And we're going to add in another sneaky letter that's hiding. Come on out. Z. And we made a new word, zag. Ta-da! And then we have our friend here, beans. Beans. The beginning sound is b. We're going to take that one out, and we're going to see what our sneaky letter is. Here it is, behind the bean. Come out. Don't be so sneaky. I see you hiding. It's r. All right, let's put it there. See, greens. That letter doesn't belong there. That's a made-up word. Silly R. Let's see this one, star. Let's take out the st beginning sound, and let's add our silly hiding letter here. Come out from under the star. It is car. That's right. Let's do another one. Stripes. Stripes. Let's take out the right here. We're going to add and see what silly letter's hiding. Oh, come out, come out. Ooh, it's 2 letters together. They must be friends. Grr. Let's add it here. Grapes. Grapes. Oh, it's so much fun to change out the beginning sound and make whole new words. Now, speaking of stripes, let's try to finish off our project that we started yesterday. To the project place. Here we go. Now for this project, you are going to need some paper, different colors. Now I always keep some scraps laying around just for such an occasion. And you're going to need scissors and you're going to need glue. And if you want to add some accents, you'll actually need a black marker as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a white piece of paper like this plain and you're going to cover it in stripes. So we have to make some stripes, don't we? Some colorful ones. So let's take our scissors and we're going to cut all the way through down to the bottom. I'm going to make a couple of red stripes. I don't know what I would do if I woke up one morning and I was covered in stripes. Now I hear that sometimes people wake up and they're covered in dots or spots called chicken pox. I've never had a problem with that, but that would be alarming, wouldn't it? All right, what you're going to do is cut your stripes and then put a strip or stripe of glue down the side like this, and I'll show you how to do a few before we move on. Let's see, just like that. Maybe I'll do one more, a purple stripe, and I'll show you what it looks like and how we can make our character ourselves. Okay, so you're going to take it and make a stripe. Now, it's okay if you put them one on top of the other. The idea is that they're super colorful, and you can use any colors that you like. You know my trick if you don't have color paper. Do you have old magazines? Because they have a lot of different colors that you might use. So when you're all done, it's going to look something like this. Ta-da! See, I layered a bunch of them on top of each other to make different stripes. Now, one tip I have for you is once you're done gluing, the paper will want to come up. It might add some texture and you might like that, but if you don't, you can put it face down with the book and it'll help it lay flat. So the next thing I'm going to do, so that it looks like my project, is I am going to make a head. So I'm going to cut out a head. What shape is a head? It's round, isn't it? Oval? Maybe some of us have square heads and we hide it with hair. Oof. I've never met anyone with a square head that I know of. And then we're going to glue it on to our background that we prepared. So here is our background. Let's glue our head on, just like so. Just squeeze some glue out. Sometimes you have to shake it up because the glue will get stuck in there. Right in the middle. What else might we add? We have a head. Should we add some ears? All right, let's add some ears. Should we add big ears or small ears? What do you think? Where did my scissors go? Everything's hiding from me today. How about some big ears? Oh, I love having big ears on my people because then I can hang big earrings. So here we go. All the way around, some big ears. I'll put them right on there. All right, here we go. Ears, ears. And then, you'll have to tell me what you think. I don't know. Let's add some eyes. Maybe that will help. My ears kind of made me look silly. Now, it looks like I might run out of time and won't get to finish this project with you, but you get the idea. Boys and girls, if you try this project or read any of the books that we read together here on your own, make sure that you send me a little note or a little picture of you trying the activity here at the station. I think our friends are going to put the address in just a bit. I love hearing from you. All right, here's some eyes. Let's put those on. And this is what the black marker is for. You're going to see how our character comes alive in just a minute when I add my eyes, my nose, and a huge smile. Of course, you can add some hair with different paper. Here's what it looks like so far. And if you have a little more time, you can add more details like I did on my sample. I added earrings, a bow, a neck, some eyelashes and eyebrows. Those are the things above your eyes. I hope that you try this activity. All right, boys and girls, come back tomorrow. We're going to read a whole new book. I wonder what it's going to be about. I'll give you a clue. It's about a nocturnal animal. Nocturnal. What does that mean? Ask a family member. Until then, Miss Lara sends you a big squeeze. Did you feel that? The biggest of squeezes and a big smooch. Kind of slobbery. And reminds you to read lots of books, to play, and to use your imagination every single day. Just like the stories we're reading, our imagination and our ideas are what make us unique and special. Come back tomorrow. We'll see you then. Goodbye. Bye, my friends.